Today on Dishes with Del, we are learning how to make steak frit with a peppercorn sauce. It's the most classic of French dishes. It's quick, it's fast, it's easy. Nothing is better than this, you know, French bistro, delicious, decadent steak, a good old pile of chips and a yummy, creamy peppercorn sauce. It's a really great, quick weeknight meal. You know, it takes 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how long your chips are going to take in the air fryer. Everyone should have it in their wheelhouse. It's absolutely delicious, and I really don't have much more to say than let's learn how to make it. I mean, oh my God, who doesn't want to learn how to make that? Now, what makes this cheats? Makes it cheats cause we're using the air fryer. Only for the chips, but that's because this is like a quick weeknight meal. If you wanted to put a bit more love into it, you could make proper chips. I've left the link up here, and that is how you do like 3 times cooked chips, you know, the one that was out like in the 2000s, everybody loves it, but you're never gonna get a better chip than that at home. But like I said, this is cheats, quick weeknight meal. So we're just gonna make sure we've got all the other stuff. So we've got some steak here, and we're just gonna season it, salt and pepper, really easy, both sides. I've got a little bit of diced onion, a little bit of garlic, and then, oh, I've got some green peppercorns in brine, forgot about these guys, but these are delicious. They are just like these little, oh, I don't know, just like these little balls of like deliciousness. So we're gonna put some of them in, but we're also gonna use some pepper. I'm actually gonna take some of the peppercorns out here and hand crush them because I want them to be of a certain consistency. And then I've got a little bit of white wine for the sauce and a dash of cream and a little bit of very interesting looking lemon, but it doesn't matter because we only need the juice. You know, a peppercorn sauce, again, people will be like, oh, you know, it should be this, it should be that. Hey, probably should be made with brandy. I don't have any, maybe even whiskey. I don't have any, but I do have some white wine. So a little bit of white wine in the bottom, and then you can always use like a little bit of stock if you've got some. I might make up a little bit of stock, but also not necessary, just so long as you make something that tastes absolutely delicious. If you've got any thyme, we'll add a little bit of thyme in here. In fact, I'm gonna go get some. So we've got all the bits, and then we've got onions, garlic, and a little bit of thyme. Delicious. All these things make the sauce. So I would say there was just a fly in here. It's like winter time. What are you doing in here, Mr. Fly? Get out of here. Anyway, apologies. Yeah, we're gonna salt and pepper this. We'll get the chips in, and we'll get this going. And I would suggest that with the steak, we are gonna cook that first, and then in the pan, we're gonna make the sauce. So while the steak is resting, the chips are nearly done, we're making the sauce, and everything will come together at the same time. It's gonna be fast and efficient, but that's the way we like it here at Dishes with Del. Fast and efficient, getting it all done, making it all come together. I've got a little bit of rump here. I've actually got a video on how to kind of, you know, get it for a little bit cheaper. Buy it whole, slice it yourself. So I've got a nice slice here. You know, it's fairly thick. This is probably, we want it nice, we want it like a rare to medium rare maximum. So for a steak this thick, I would probably say about 3 minutes on each side, maximum. But what's really important is when you cook steak, is that your pan is nice and hot so that it straight away caramelizes in the pan. So we get that really nice, like dark, like crust almost. That's the important thing with cooking steak. You know, you want to make sure that your pan is hot. You could do this in the pan, you could do it on the barbecue, you could do it on a George Foreman grill. I mean, you could probably even do it on a Breville sandwich maker if that was all you had. There is always ways around it, but I'm doing it in the pan so that I can make the sauce straight away after. Yeah, that's it. So we're gonna get on with it. I'm gonna put the chips on, and we're gonna get over to the stove. I'm gonna heavily season these steaks. Salt and pepper is your friend. You know, you just wanna make sure you've got a good amount on the outside. And then what I'm also gonna do and get ready so that we don't have to worry about it when we are cooking it is we're just gonna take, there's that bloody fly. We're just gonna take some peppercorns, you know, maybe I have 15 in here, And we're just going to give them a light crush. Now, this is up to you. You can make it as fine as you like, but I kind of like them big chunks of pepper. Some people might like it a little bit finer, but again, that's kind of up to you. So that's the pepper, black pepper ready, and we are also going to take out some of these green peppercorns. Oh my God, these things, honestly, yeah, they're just like these little pops of like flavor. So again, you know, maybe you've got like 30 peppercorns here. These things are all interchangeable, however spicy you do or don't like it. But yeah, I like to have it like a little bit spicier. So I'm gonna take all these things over to the stove. And what's important when you're cooking steaks is that the pan is nice and hot. So you wanna make sure that you can see that it's hot. You know, you can run your hand over the top here and I can start to feel that it's warm. You know, we're gonna cook these in a little bit of oil. So I'm just gonna put a tiny bit in here. And this is also a great indicator to see how hot your pan may be. As you can see, it's all running away there and it looks already quite loose. But we need to make sure that it's good and hot because we want to be able to sear it, not boil it. And that's the most important thing when you're cooking steaks, is that you want to sear them as opposed to like boil them. But what we're going to do first, probably with this, as there's a bit of fat on it and we want to render that first, it's a good chance to, you know, start to get an indicator of how hot the pan is. So we're going to sit it on the fat just like that. So, you know, we can hear that it's already warm and that it's getting there, but it's definitely not hot enough yet. But that's okay because we're just going to sear this fat off first. And the fat, you do need to render a little slower because it takes a minute or two for it to break down. And you know, it's nice to have it nice and crisp. Like you don't want it soft, you don't want it not edible. And plus this is great for this dish because then we're going to have some extra beefy flavour in the pan for when we make the sauce. We can see now that the pan is getting hotter as it's starting to smoke. And that fat is starting to render. And now I reckon we're going to go into the pan with the steak. You can hear it's nice and hot, it's searing. Push it down. And then we're not going to touch this for about 2.5–3 minutes. We're just going to let it sear on that side. I'm going to turn the temperature up a tiny bit. I'm going to add in my little bit, the chef's bit. He can go in too. And we're going to let that sear. I've just got here as well, ready to go, a clean plate with a rack on it so that these can rest when they're finished cooking. That's had about 2.5 minutes on that side, so I'm going to turn it over. And as you can see here, oh my God, it looks amazing. It's caramelized, the fat is caramelized, and now we're just going to do the same on that side for 2 minutes. And we're about a minute away from the end, so I'm going to chuck in a little garlic and a tiny bit of butter. Just to give them steaks a little bit of flavour. Take off any of the fond on the bottom of the pan. Let that butter caramelise, and then these will rest. So all in all, they've had about 5.5 minutes cooking, and then we're going to rest them for almost equally as long. And that's it. Steaks are done. Pour that last little bit of butter over the top. And now to make the sauce. We've got all that lovely flavour in there. So we're going to add the onions and the garlic. And you want to make sure that the heat is a little bit lower now, but look at all that lovely colour that they've picked up from the pan. That is all the amazing beefy flavours. That's, you know, I mean, it just looks superb already. So just let that cook for a minute or two. And whenever you're making a sauce that's got cream in it, you always want to make sure that you do have some acidity. So that's why I do have this bit of lemon right for the end. I'm going to let these soften down a touch. Oh my God, and they've just picked up all that lovely flavour. Now we are going to add a splash of white wine and we're going to let that reduce. And then we're going to add the crushed peppercorns and the green peppercorns into this mix so they can start to all be added to that flavour. Oh my God, this is just going to be amazing. You can always give it a little taste now and see. Oh yeah, it's good and peppery. But we will have to add some salt at the end. And now, just a touch of cream. To bring it all together. And I'm just going to add a touch of stock because this is a little thick. And then, just mix it together. Reduce it a tiny bit more to make it the consistency you want. And at this stage, oh, not with a fork. And just at this stage, we just want to give it a little taste, just to correct it. So I'm going to add that squeeze of lemon, just to break through that fat, and some salt. And we are ready to go. So what's great here is the juice from under this steak where it's been resting. Add that to your sauce because that there is just an absolute flavour bomb. It's just, you know, that's ultimate flavour right there. Oh my God, this sauce just looks incredible. If you were feeling really fancy, you could probably put some parsley in it, but this will just be delicious. You know, again, it's just really important that you taste that sauce once you take it off the stove, that the fat is being cut through by the lemon juice and that there's enough salt in it. Pepper, absolutely fine. And then we just got to plate this bad boy up. And that's it. Steak frit. I tell you what, I cannot wait to get in here. Steak, perfect. You know, this is the slightly thinner end too. That's a great medium rare. We've got that sauce and the chips. I mean, I'm in Paris. Oh my God. What more can you say? These little chippies, even though I didn't make them, are absolutely delicious. That peppercorn sauce, hot from the peppercorns and a little bit sweet from the green ones and the steak. Just absolutely perfect. Now, it's lunchtime for me and Brownie, and so I'll see you guys next week. Please give this a go and let me know how it turns out for you. Bye guys.